Hi, welcome back, Rookie and Jackie. Let's chat allergies. We're on to week 10, double figures now. We've been away for a couple of weeks because we've been quite busy. So we're back again now. And we're talking about, I've got the title now, eating out post-lockdown. Look down and see, eating out post-lockdown. So that's our conversation for today. So my name is Jacqui McPeak and my company's Jacqs Limited. So over to Rookie.
Hi, I'm Rookie Davies. I am from Womby's Kitchen. Do you want to start? Because you were the one that came up with this one, weren't you? Because of your daughter.
So I've been out training for 2 weeks, training schools, and we were talking about the changes that might happen after lockdown, and changes in staff, changes in products, and what they need to do going back into schools. And also my daughter, who's got a number of allergies and intolerances, said to me, I feel quite anxious about going back out to eat after lockdown. And I was quite surprised because she's very confident in managing her allergies now. And she said, I do feel, I can't just book a table and go out to eat. She said, I feel quite concerned. And I said, oh, it surprises me. And I wonder how many other people are feeling like this. So how do you feel with your son going back out to eat in a restaurant?
It is funny, isn't it? Because I hadn't really thought about it too much until you mentioned this sort of thing that you said about Sophie. So I asked Nathan about this earlier, and he was like, yes, I am a little bit. And I was like, oh, okay. I hadn't really thought about it, but we've been a year in lockdown. We haven't eaten out very much at all. So we haven't had any takeaways. We've certainly not been in a restaurant. So it's a whole year that the industry has had for lots of things to change. Staff turnover is going to be huge. You were saying, people might even be using different products because of EU inabilities to get things. So there's going to be loads of things that restaurants are going to have to start thinking about again, that until we get to the point of actually opening up again, that affect people with allergies. So I think, now that you mentioned it, I'm like, oh yeah, so we need to think about it as well.
Well, now I've passed on the anxiety to you as well.
No, it's fine. It's good. It's good to be armed with these things, isn't it?
Yeah. I think the other thing as well, we were talking about menus. So obviously last year, lots of national restaurant chains will have printed menus, which have hardly been used, of course. And I wonder whether these have been updated, whilst people have been off on furlough, etc. And the changes on those actual menus. And we were talking before, weren't we, when we spoke, about the situation where you go into a restaurant, you're familiar with your menu and you choose the same item on the menu, it's your favorite menu, and almost you don't tell them, oh, because they recognize you, and you forget to say, oh, I've got a serious allergy I need to tell you about. So have those menus changed? Have the ingredients changed or the recipes changed during that time whilst restaurants have been closed?
And also, menus quite often during lockdown, they got shorter, didn't they? So they were offering reduced menus in lots of places because they either had enough staff or they didn't have enough time, whatever the reason. But quite often the things that get missed off those menus are the allergen choices. So, you might be going out to these places thinking, I used to be able to choose from 5 or 6 things, and now maybe one, or, that would be awful if it was nothing, but there's the possibility that you might not even be able to eat out in that place anymore, which would be sad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand the reason for, we can no longer cater for allergies due to COVID. It just doesn't make sense.
No.
Because more people, restaurateurs, catering, hospitality, we always wash our hands. We always keep the place scrupulously clean and hygienic. So to say we can't do it because of COVID, I don't particularly see the reason for that. However, it is really important that when you go out each and every time to remind the waiter, the manager, that you have an allergy. There's currently a campaign with Food Standards Agency, ask about allergies, to speak up about your allergy every time, and don't assume every time.
Yeah, I've seen the tips and hints that they're giving out on under that banner, and they are really good. So they're definitely useful if you haven't seen those before. I was thinking, actually, we were just talking about this, but because my son hasn't been out to eat with his friends, quite often they'd go after school, they'd go to the local takeaway, and they'd grab something, go sit in the park and eat. But he hasn't done that for a year, so even he's out of practice, and he's the kind of kid that doesn't want people to know that he's got allergies. He doesn't even want his friends to know he's got allergies. So this is going to be quite big for him to have to go into the takeaway and go, right, by the way, I've got an allergy again. So I was saying what we would normally do is I'd actually take him in a couple of days before, speak to the manager, check the menu out with my son so he knows exactly what he can choose. And then, you know, the manager and my son have met, so hopefully they'll be in and introduced, you know, so they know each other the next time he comes in. And then at least that gives him a little bit of confidence when he goes in there that he's okay to have something. Yeah, it is all about confidence, isn't it, for things like this?
Yeah. So I think, you know, in some ways, not having that choice to go out, you're in your comfort zone at home, so you can trust the food at home and you're settled, and then all of a sudden there's this, I've got to go out. Are they going to be able to understand? Is it a new chef? Is it new managers and new waiters? All those things that you haven't had to consider for a while.
Yeah,
so
everyone's out of practice, aren't they?
They are. So there have been different concerns clearly, but it's, yeah, it is a bit of an anxious time for those with allergies.
Even going back to school. So my son will start having school dinners again next month. Next week. It's next week. And again, it's you know, I've got to remind him. Do I need to remind the school? I'm assuming not. I don't think I do, but it's definitely reminding him that he needs to make sure, you know, just because the chicken burger last term was okay, he still needs to check that again.
Yeah, very true. Yeah. So schools have been, you know, dealing with very few numbers of people with school meals over the last few months. So again, they've got to step up the game and back into full production almost. So they've got to make sure they're prepared. So yeah, bit of a change. So if you've got a food allergy or intolerance, just curious to know whether you feel anxious or you feel confident, and what are your steps that you take when you go out to eat to make sure that you and your family are safe.
Be good to know, wouldn't it?
So we're back next week and hope you have a great week, and thanks for listening to us.
Thank you. Bye.